Hi everybody, it's Janice from the Indianola Public Library Craft Time, and we are going to make some sidewalk paint. It's super duper simple, but we are going to use some things that you should have around the house or are pretty easy to get. And it works really well. I tested it outside and we'll get to go see that in just a little bit. And you can make all different colors because what you need is just some water, and then you'll need some cornstarch and some baking soda, and that adds a little surprise that we'll talk about in a little bit too. So cornstarch, baking soda, water, and then for the colors, I decided to use an old watercolor thing that I had. You can use food coloring, but that stains, so I was kind of a little reluctant to do that. So this actually works really well. I made some sample colors here, made some yellow and some purple, and you can see maybe on this one it's starting to separate just a little bit, but that's okay. You just give it a little stir and it's good as new. So that is pretty simple. See, and then it's good as new, and they're actually really bright, so that's pretty cool. So what you will need is about 3/4 of a cup to maybe a cup of water. You don't want it to be hot water because that'll make your cornstarch clump, and that's no good at all. So about 3/4 to 1 cup of water, and then it's about 1/3 of a cup, and you know me, no measuring cups, so we're winging it. Again, not a precise science, so we just kind of come close. So about 1/3 of a cup of cornstarch, and you'll put that in and give it a stir, and make sure there aren't any really big clumps in there because it's water and cornstarch, and as long as the cornstarch or the water isn't hot, it should go together pretty easily. So just give that a stir. And then it is the same amount, about 1/3 of a cup of baking soda. Baking soda gets kind of clumpy in there. There we go. And pour that in and give that a stir too. And again, it does kind of separate as it sits, but give it a good stir and it comes right back, so that's no problem. And now we're going to get our color out. So here's what you need. You need a watercolor thing, and this one's an old one. You know, it doesn't have to be brand new if you've already used it. You do need to know that once you've done this, you're not going to have the watercolors left, so just be aware of that. But you're going to just pop these out. And I'm using a spoon. I'm just using the end of a spoon. Oops, get it on my fingers. To kind of pop it out, and I'm going to put it in a bowl, or you could use like a plate or a pie plate. Something that has hard sides and a bottom that you can crush it up. So I'm going to use the back of a spoon and just crunch this up a little bit, so that we don't have quite as big chunks. Now, you are probably going to have a little bit of chunkiness when you put it in your paint, but that's okay because it's watercolors. It will melt essentially in the water, and eventually, I mean, both of those had chunks and they came out just fine. But you do want to kind of start it out a little bit smushed up. And it doesn't take a lot of pressure, and it doesn't take very long. Get the really big chunks squished down. And that is probably good enough for our purposes. So then I'm going to give this another stir just to make sure that it's still mixed. Yep, see, it got thick on the bottom again. That's all right. We'll just stir it up quick. And this paint does go quite a long way. I mean, I've already painted with these, and there's quite a lot, and I had some left over from this. So this is actually about 4 of these cups, about that size. And I filled them about halfway. So it does make quite a lot. And then we'll just pour some of that in here. And then you know, you'll separate it out into each of your cups. And then we'll just dump that crushed up watercolor paint in there. And I'm going to use the spoon because I've got some of the watercolor on the back of it. I want to get all the color in there that I can. And then you'll just stir that and kind of, you know, if you have some still big chunks in there, kind of smush that up against the edge of the cup. I'm using one of my flimsy cups, and that wasn't maybe my best idea, but that's all right. It still works. And then, like I said, I don't know if you can see that, it's still got some chunks in there, but those are going to melt, so you don't have to worry about that. I'm going to let this one set for just a little bit and try and get some of those to melt up a little bit, and then we'll stir it some more. But then you just have paint that you can go outside on your sidewalk or on your driveway and paint with, and it looks pretty vivid, and it actually does translate pretty well to the cement. The colors are still pretty bright. And you can use, I used a sponge or a just regular paintbrush. You could use just regular sponges, or you could make your own paintbrushes, or you can also put it into squeeze bottles or squirt bottles. If you have those, that would work pretty well. The squirt bottle, I didn't have any, but I have read that the squirt bottles can sometimes get clogged because the stuff gets thick at the bottom, and so it won't go through, but you really just would have to just shake it. If you're using squirt bottles, you might want to use a little bit more water and make it not quite so thick, but this is, I mean, this would go through a squirt bottle probably pretty well. But I like to paint with paintbrushes. So that is what that is, and now we are going to go outside. So give us just a second, we're going to go outside and I'll show you what I did and what the cool thing is that you can do with it. So give me just a second. Okay, so we're outside the library, and I'm going to show you what I did. These are some of the things that I painted just a few minutes ago. It really wasn't very long, maybe 15-20 minutes. And you can see they've already dried, and they're really pretty bright, which is pretty cool. I have here a cup of vinegar, white vinegar, and let's see what happens to this paint when I pour the vinegar on it. So let's see. Oh, hey, it fizzes up. That's pretty awesome. And you can see, that's pretty cool. You can see that it washes the color away. So, you know, Mom and Dad, you don't have to be worried about this staining your cement, because it's really going to wash away. It's just watercolors. And that is what we have for you today. Join us now. Let's see, this will post on Monday. Our crafts are on Mondays now. On our Facebook page and on our YouTube channel, and our information for that will be posted on the website and on Facebook. Because it's summer, we're going to move up to 2 story times per week. So we'll do story times on Facebook on Tuesdays and on Thursdays. Those will be at 10:30. We're going to start moving to a Storytime group on Facebook. For right now, they'll still be posted just on the regular Facebook, but go ahead and join us on our IPL Storytime group. It's on our Facebook page. That'd be awesome, because we are going to move those eventually to the closed group. And then be sure that you check out our Facebook or our website page for all the information about the fun summer stuff that we have planned. We've got a reading challenge. We've got a whole bunch of different activities that you can do during the summer. It's going to be great fun. So even though it's not going to be exactly the way it usually is at the summer, we've got all kinds of great stuff planned. So be sure and check it out, and we will see you next time. Bye!